popped in my mind after listening to Real Talk Kim. She is a pastor that I listened to starting like back in 2018. She's always been a phenomenal inspiration. I'm very proud of her. But she was talking today about God burying things for you. And then I had a passenger that got in the car and he was talking about supply and demand. And then I thought about another young lady that helped me a few years ago when I heard Create in Me a New Heart. And I'm like, you need to go live. You need to go live about supply and demand. And I'm like, but I don't know what I'm going live on supply and demand about because I have no clue about what this message is going to be. So we just going to go with the flow. And I'm just going to, what they say, allow the Lord to use me, allow the universe to use me, allow God to use me. So whatever pops in my mind, it's just going to be random. Y'all know. And if you've watched me before, you know I'm random as hell. All right. So here we go. Bookwithtina.com. So supply and demand. You are the supply that people demand. And the reason why I say that is because if you're the type of person who is the person who you fix everything, you're the person they come to, they need solutions, or you're the shoulder that they lean on. Yesterday, my friend was like, you need to wash your shoulders. She goes, wait, that's that's not what you said. I said, no, but maybe I do need to wash my shoulders, right? Because what they say, the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But people like to lean on you. If you're the person that people like to lean on you, or people have an expectancy of you, that you're always bubbly, you're always in a good mood, or you don't look like what you've been through. You don't look like what you've been through. Hallelujah. Right? Because of the experiences that you've had in your life, it's allowed you to grant wisdom. I have learned to be very grateful for the experiences that I've had in my life. I do go to therapy just like most people because you need it. My therapist is another one of I call her my best friend, right? And she's one of my friends that I talk to, that she's allowed to judge because that's her job and that's what she does. And we have a love-hate relationship, but we do a lot of laughing, a lot of talking. We even do some crying, right? Because she is one of the people that I go to in confidence when I'm having trouble getting stuck. We all have our mentors, we have our coaches, we have our friends, we have our therapists, we have people that we rely on, right? So now, going back to the supply and demand, like I said, everything that pop in my head, y'all, I'm just gonna give it to you. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. Supply, you are the supply. Why are you the supply? Because you are the go-to person. But the question is, why are you the go-to person? And who are the people that you have around you? Why is your demand so high, right? Why is it people feel like they can rely on you all the time? If you are this person, there's a couple things popping in my head. If you're the person that they have, that you have a high demand on your life, in your job, for your spouse, for your family, for your friends, for your children, whoever it may be, ask yourself this question. Are you on high demand because you always make yourself available? And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but when you are making yourself available, are you taking accountability for putting yourself first? Okay, I guess we just gonna hit me too, because I am also the one who is delivering my own message, right? But this message may also be for you as well. If you are making yourself available because the demand is high, is there secretly a part of you that seeks approval and or needs validation in order for you to feel or live in your purpose? Okay, so last year I did a video that said that you don't need anybody to live in your purpose. And so this is going to be the reminder for that. There's going to be a reminder for that. You don't need to have anybody to live in your purpose. It is perfectly fine to live in your purpose by being exactly who you are. You do not have to convince others that you are a loyal person. You do not have to convince others that, you know what, I'm going to be there for you through the dirt. Because guess what? There are going to be some times when you're not going to be able to be there through the dirt. And what I'm hearing is out of my right ear, I don't know what's going on. My left ear, I call my God ear, but my right ear, we're just going to see what's going on, like who's coming. Remember, you're not always going to be able to be there in the dirt for people. This is when you're going to find out who your true and real friends are. Because just because they weren't there for you in this particular moment, in this particular phase, in this particular unpleasant experience that you may be having, or a pleasant experience that you may be having, don't count them out. That's what I'm hearing, is don't necessarily count them out. Sometimes we get our feelings hurt because we want people to show up the way we want them to show up. But sometimes they're showing up just how they need to show up. Now you have to use your gift of discernment, right? You have to use that gift that you have to decide, is this person not showing up for me because they don't have capacity? And am I lacking compassion because this person does not have the capacity? Or is this person not showing up for me because they don't want to show up, because they only want to be here during the good times? These are questions that you're going to have to ask yourself. Have you ever considered that maybe if a person, excuse me, have you ever considered that maybe if a person is not there for you during your time, is because they are at their capacity and they don't know how to tell you that they're at their capacity because you're so busy going on and rambling on? And I've been very guilty of this too. You've been going on and rambling on about what's going on with you, and so you haven't taken a step and said, wait a minute, do you even have capacity for this? Do you even have the room for this? Some people, they forget that. I've talked to people who have had long-term friendships. Now I've had some what would be considered long-term friendships, but I've also had some friendships that have come and gone. And sometimes when you have those friendships that can come and go, sometimes a part of you may question, or you may lack a little bit of judgment and you may lack a little bit of judgment and compassion for yourself, not being able to maintain these long-term friendships. Okay, if this is you, like I said, I'm random all over the place. If this is you, it's not that you are not in high demand. It's because your supply, your level of supply has absolutely changed. And what I mean by that is you are going through a growth spurt. And anytime you go through a growth spurt, you're going to have to change. Think about what's popping in my head right now. It's coming out the left ear, right? It's coming out the God ear. Remember, if you have ever had a favorite pair of jeans when you were growing up, and you hit that growth spurt, and when you hit that growth spurt, you could no longer fit in those jeans. They either became too tight, or they became too short, or there was something that caused that you can't button it no more, or maybe it fit in the leg and not in the waist, or maybe it fit in the waist and not around your backside anymore. You outgrow. So when you outgrow those jeans, you can't demand them no more. You can't wear them no more. The supply is no longer there, right? And even though you love them jeans, There's nothing you can do. All you can do is try to replicate, go buy another pair of jeans by the same maker, the same people, and sometimes those jeans just ain't there, right? So now you got to create something new. You got to create a new look. You got to do something new. So this is what I say. If you are a person who doesn't have, quote unquote, the long term, or what I'm talking about long is if you don't have these friendships that are over 15 years, or 20 years. You don't have a friend that you've had around for 30 years, and you're kind of like me. You've had friends, maybe they've been around 5, 10 years, maybe 15 years. Y'all been friends on and off, and you've been coming back and forth. Don't be mad at yourself. Don't be discouraged in yourself. Honey, you are a blossom that is ever changing. I know in some of my friendships, the reason why some of those people came and went, right? Or my 5, 10, and 15-year friendships where we've been friends, we've had to take breaks from each other. And the reason why we had to take breaks from each other is why we took breaks, because the growth spurt. The growth spurt. And the things that I was learning and doing, those people did not have the capacity to be able to keep up with me. And vice versa. My friends would be growing at such an exponential rate that I didn't have the capacity to be able to keep up with them, because I was still trying to find my way to be grounded right where I was. You feel me? So this is a ramble, but supply and demand. This is what I get. If you have been known to be the supply, and you are finding that the demand is overwhelming, then that means you need to go back and redefine your boundaries. That means you need to go back and say, am I giving myself enough time to have capacity for me and others? Also, release the feeling of I have to, because if nobody else does it, I cannot do it, right? Release that. Delegation is your friend. Fall in love with it, right? If your supply of what you have is at capacity, it's okay to say, you know what, demand, I can't do it right now. And just like when something sells off the shelf, the demand doesn't quite go away. You might lose a few people, but the demand does not quite go away all the way. But the people that still need the product, which is you, the people that still need you, they're going to wait for you to re-up. They're going to wait for you to have the capacity. And if they can't wait for the people to have that capacity, those people didn't need to be there anyway. Right? Supply, you're the supply and the demand. Make sure you have boundaries, supply person. And it's okay if you can't be there for every single experience. It is okay. Do not punish yourself. You don't have to punish yourself. Now that's all I got. That's all that's coming through for me on that, with the supply and the demand. When you are the individual, when you are the person that is being demanded upon. And I know some people are like, well, Tina, it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. And I feel you. But this is where you figure it out. I might can help you. You can go to my website, bookwithtina.com, and you can book an appointment, and I might can help you. But I can only lead you to the water. It's up to you to drink. I'm not here to give you the answers and the solutions. When I was doing my crystal readings and doing my card readings, doing my bibliomancy readings, which I still offer those services, what I learned in my business is if somebody only comes to you for the answers and they're not willing to put in the work, then you will always be at max capacity trying to figure out other people's stuff. Sometimes I lack understanding on why people make the choices that they make. And this puts me at a higher level of capacity because I'm trying to figure out things that are not my job, right? Especially for people that I love and I care about, right? Supply. Are you at capacity? The demand is still going to be there. Take your time and re-up. That's all I got for you today. I love you. Mwah! Have an awesome and amazing day. Be great, be wonderful, and welcome to this new 2025 year. Great things to come. Boop.